guys, welcome to another read aloud for our Ocean/Under the Sea week. Today we are going to read Fish is Fish by Lionni. And this story is about a little fish who wants to be just like his best friend the frog. And he wants to see everything that the frog sees in the world. And just in case you're wondering, the sign for fish is making your hand flat like that, and then you make your hand swim away from you. So, Fish is Fish by Lionni. Here we can see our seaweed, or different plants that grow underneath the water. At the edge of the woods, there was a pond, and there a minnow and a tadpole swam among the weeds. They were inseparable friends. So a minnow is a type of fish, a small fish, and a tadpole is what we call a baby frog. So let's see here. Can you tell me which one is which? We know that fish have fins. Is there fins on this little guy? No, he's got kind of a long tail that we can see through a little bit. How about him? Do you see fins on this little guy? Yes, I see fins on him. He's the fish. So that must be our tadpole, our little baby frog. And it says they're inseparable. That means they're the best friends ever, and they are always together. All right, let's see what happens to our two best friends. One morning, the tadpole discovered that during the night he had grown 2 little legs. "Look," he said triumphantly. That means he's proud of himself. "Look, I'm a frog." "Nonsense," said the minnow. "How could you be a frog if only last night you were a little fish, just like me?" All right, can you find the legs that our tadpole friend grew? Here they are. They're tiny and folded in, but we can see them. He's got little feet now. And Fish is mad because he thought that his tadpole friend was just like him. But now he's noticing that tadpole looks different. They argued and argued until finally the tadpole said, "Frogs are frogs and fish is fish, and that's that." Uh-oh, they had an argument. That's not good. Have you ever argued with a friend or a family member? How do you fix that? It's important to fix your arguments or what you disagree on so that you can stay friends, right? In the weeks that followed, the tadpole grew tiny front legs and his tail got smaller and smaller. So they must have fixed whatever they were arguing about, right? The fact that the tadpole looks different, because now Fish doesn't look as angry, he just looks a little bit surprised. His mouth is open. And Frog, can you find his front legs? Here's his long back legs. And here's his little front legs he's starting to get. And we can see, look, his tail got shorter. It was longer before, and now it looks a little tinier. How else is the frog going to change? And then, one fine day, a real frog now, he climbed out of the water and onto the grassy bank. Can you find Frog? Here's just a bunch of weeds. There's Fish. Let's keep going. There's Frog, climbing out of the water and onto the land, the bank of the pond. Look at Fish, though. Fish looks sad because his friend is leaving. Uh-oh. The minnow, too, had grown and had become a full-fledged fish. He often wondered where his four-footed friend had gone, but days and weeks went by and the frog did not return. Oh, now look at Fish's face. How does he look? He looks sad, right? Have you ever missed a friend or somebody in your family that you didn't get to see for a long time? I bet you have friends and family that you haven't seen because of quarantine right now that you miss. Just like Fish misses Frog. Will he get to see him again? Look, who's that? It's Frog jumping back into the pond. Then, one day, with a happy splash that shook the weeds, the frog jumped into the pond. "Where have you been?" asked the fish excitedly. "I have been about the world, hopping here and there," said the frog, "and I have seen extraordinary things." Extraordinary. That's a big word. That means that he's seen awesome, cool stuff. And I bet he's going to tell Fish all about it. Look how surprised Fish looks. His mouth is wide open again. I don't think he expected to see Frog. How would you feel if you had a friend come visit you that you haven't seen in a while? I bet you'd be happy and surprised too. Let's see what kinds of things Frog has to tell to Fish. "Like what?" asked the fish. "Birds," said the frog mysteriously. "Birds!" And he told the fish about the birds, who had wings and 2 legs and many, many colors. As the frog talked, his friend saw the birds fly through his mind like large feathered fish. "What else?" asked the fish impatiently. You see Frog talking, he's explaining, and Fish has another thought bubble. What's he thinking? Look at these animals. They're similar to what was on the front cover. But that doesn't look like something I've ever seen. What do you think? I think Fish is trying his hardest to think about birds. That's why our creatures have 2 legs and feathers. But they're not quite shaped like birds, are they? No, they're still shaped like fish. Because Fish only knows what he looks like, right? So everything else looks like a fish too. That's pretty silly. What else does Frog have to talk about? "Cows," said the frog. "Cows! They have 4 legs, horns, eat grass, and carry pink bags of milk." Oh, cows. Our class loves cows. We love to sing about those for Old MacDonald. Do you see the picture here? Do you see the horns? Yep, he's got horns. And what's he chewing? Some grass? And what else is Fish thinking about the cow? He's got the black spots. And here's 4 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's this? That's the udders. That's where the cow makes milk. So it looks mostly like a cow, right? But look, what does it have here that's still different? Fins. So he still looks like Fish in Fish's mind. "And people," said the frog. "Men, women, children." And he talked and talked until it was dark in the pond. But the picture in Fish's mind was full of lights and colors and marvelous things, and he couldn't sleep. If he could only jump about like his friend and see that wonderful world. So now in Fish's mind, we can see what he thinks people look like. How do these fish look like people? Well, they have clothes. This one's wearing a hat, this one's wearing pants. And they're walking on 2 feet. That's different than regular fish. And this one even has a lollipop. Fish don't eat lollipops, that'd be silly. So fish is trying really hard to think about what people would look like based on what Frog is saying. But because fish is a fish and he only knows what he looks like, our humans still look like fish over here. Let's see what happens next. Oh, here we can see all the things that the tadpole told us about, that Frog told us about. The birds, and the people, and the cow. And look, fish tried really hard, right? To think about all these different things. He's even added a lady here, what he thinks a woman would look like with long hair and makeup. But they still all are shaped like fish. And so the days went by. The frog had gone, and the fish just lay there, dreaming about birds in flight, grazing cows, and those strange animals, all dressed up, that his friend called people. One day, he finally decided that come what may, that means no matter what, he too must see them. And so with a mighty whack of his tail, he jumped clear out of the water onto the bank. Do you see fish? Here he is, jumping onto the land. Uh-oh. He might be in trouble, right? Because fish live in the water, not on land. He landed in the dry, warm grass, and there he lay, gasping for air, unable to breathe or move. Help, he groaned feebly. Look, where's Fish? Way down at the bottom of the page here. He's on his back, he can't move to flip himself over. Who's going to help him? Uh-oh. Luckily, the frog, who had just been hunting butterflies nearby, saw him and with all of his strength pushed him back into the pond. You see Frog? Here he is, picking up Fish and putting him back in the water. That was nice that he was able to help his friend. What's a way that you've helped a friend before? That's something to think about. Still stunned, that means surprised, the fish floated about for an instant. Then he breathed deeply. Let's all breathe together. Letting the clean, cool water run through his gills. Now he felt weightless again, and with an ever so slight motion of his tail, he could move to and fro, up and down as before. The sun rays reached down within the weeds and gently shifted patches of luminous color. That means colorful lights are shifting down to the water. This world was surely the most beautiful of all worlds. He smiled at his friend the frog, who sat watching him from a lily pad. "You were right," he said. "Fish is fish." You see Frog? Up here on the lily pad? And let's find Fish. Here he is down in the water. And ooh, look at all those pretty lights. The reflection of the sun with different colors in the water. And Fish realized that his world underwater is just as beautiful as Frog's world up on land. So that is the end of our story about Fish and Frog. And I hope you enjoyed reading Fish is Fish by Lionni. And if you'd like to check out some of his other books, he has lots of other fun books with brilliant, awesome, colorful illustrations. And I hope that you learned a lesson that your perspective of the world is just as important and amazing as everyone else's, and that we should celebrate that. All right, I will see you guys for the next Read Aloud.